Is it the franchisor's job to find your customers? As the expression goes, give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime. One of the biggest myths in franchising that I love to bust is that it's the franchisor's job to find your customers for you. This is absolutely false. Not gonna happen. Now, if you are lucky enough to be investing in America's big brand, such that it has the feel of build it and they will come, that is because pioneering franchisees before you spent money and years building that brand that now you get to come in and ride in on the coattails of what those pioneering franchisees created. But even if you're investing in America's big brand, it is always your job to find your own customers. If it were true that it was the franchisor's job to find your customers, franchises like Subway or Chick-fil-A wouldn't advertise. When you invest in a franchise, you're buying into that proven toolbox, a toolbox that comes with a proven marketing plan. The franchisor has clearly defined the customer avatar. They know exactly who their customer is, and they should be able to tell you how many of those customers you'll need in order to build a positively cash flowing business. And then it's your job to execute on that plan to create that positively cash flowing business. Now, some franchisors will provide this proven marketing plan to you. They'll tell you where to spend the money. They'll tell you how much money to spend, and they'll tell you approximately how long you have to spend the money in order to build this positively cash flowing business. Other franchisors may take your advertising dollars from you and spend them for you because they believe that they can do it better for you, and collectively they can do it more cost effectively than having each franchisee doing it on their own. Sometimes those franchisors who will collect the marketing dollars from you and spend them for you will also have a national call center to answer the phone. So not only do they get the phone to ring, but then they have a call center to answer the phone. Some of those franchisors, depending on how simple the business is, that call center may be able to even sell your product or service, take the credit card from the customer, and then book an appointment on your calendar. And then other franchisors, like I said, will provide the marketing plan to you, and then you go out and you execute it in your market. What's funny is some candidates love the added support of a franchisor that wants to spend their marketing dollars for them, because that means you don't have to have an office. If they have a call center, you don't need an admin person. It can really lower the fixed cost of your business. You could be paying per lead that the franchisor generates for you versus paying the fixed cost of having an office and an admin person. And then other candidates that I work with say, no way, that's way too much control by the franchisor. I want more control over my own marketing. The Daily Coach is going to tell you that no matter how much support a franchisor offers, it is always on you to learn how to find your best customer. If you do not learn how to find your best customer, you will never have a business that you feel in control of. You will never fully own your business. Your business will own you. In most businesses, the best leads that you're ever going to get are referrals. And this is where, when we talk about following the proven process of a franchise but making it your own, this is where you really get to shine, where you can build that referred lead network based on referral sources in the community that you may know when you start the business or that you invest time building as you grow your business. For instance, if your business is a restoration company and you need to build relationships with insurance adjusters or plumbers, such that if I have a pipe break in my house and I call the plumber first, I want the plumber to say, great, I can come over there and stop the water from leaking, but you need to call Restoration Company A, my business, right? Or if your business relies on realtors as good referral sources because you have some home product or service that someone who's buying or selling a home may need at that transitional time, then you get to go out and build relationships with those realtors. These referred lead sources will always be your best way to not only impact your business, but to control your business. As I grew into the role of franchise consultant and I started to refine what I did so that I could work smarter rather than harder, I started studying my numbers and I realized that the dollars I was spending buying leads was really a total waste of money. When I started looking at where the people who I was having the most fun working with came from, the people who were more likely to go on to become business owners came from, it was always from referrals. So one day in my business, years ago now, I made the very brave decision of dropping all of my lead sources. Years later, I love to say that I do not buy leads. I will not spend money buying a lead. And I want that same thing for you. Because the day that I did that, while it took a lot of courage to let go of those advertising leads, it forced me to learn how to prospect, how to network, how to own my leads. My business is no different than your business or from anybody else's business. There are businesses, like I said, that have that retail component where it feels like when you open the door, people are going to come in. But that's another great myth in franchising. Build it and they will come. If it were that easy, everybody would be successful. It's not that easy. You as the owner still have to create an experience that's worth coming in for and coming back for. And that's why a franchise can be a turnkey business model, but why it requires an owner as the leader driving that type of an experience through the team so that your customers come in and they come back. Ultimately, whether you have a brick and mortar storefront or whether you have a business that relies on a marketing plan or whether you have a business like mine that relies solely on prospecting and networking, all business owners need to learn how to fish for themselves. What's that expression? Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for life. A franchisor that teaches you how to fish for yourself, how to find your own candidates, will always be producing happier, more successful business owners than those that will do it for you. I totally understand the allure of a franchisor who will do it for you. But if I was in that situation, I would still take it upon myself to develop my own lead sources that I own and I control. Because having enough customers is what is going to enable you to build the business of your dreams. And if you leave that in the hands of somebody else, how can you ever feel in control of your business? What if what they're doing is working now, but over time it changes and they don't change? You're going to look at them and you're going to blame them for not producing your potential customers. But was it ever really their job? Now, they would be just as much at fault if that were to happen. I will admit that. But why put yourself in that predicament? The moment you learn and take ownership of finding your best customers is the day that you find true freedom in business ownership, and it is the day that begins the journey to you building the business of your dreams. If I can inspire you further to want to learn how to fish for yourself, how to build a referred lead network, or to take control of your customers, please leave a comment below or reach directly out to the Daily Coach. If you enjoyed this coaching video and want to see more, I'm pushing out great content multiple times a week, so please ring the bell and don't forget to like and subscribe.